Hi, I'm Akshay.
Hi, I'm Vidyaprasad.
Hi, I'm Karan, and we're working on Firefighter hearing protection project.
Firefighters have to work in a very hostile environment with many noise sources that may have potential of hearing damage.
Of all these sources, the firefighting paraphernalia is what poses an imminent danger to their hearing abilities.
Everything from siren, which alerts the people, to the jaws of the life, which helps firefighter to cut through the roof of the car, makes very dangerous noise.
To understand what noise sources affect the firefighters, we contacted a local fire station and set up a meeting with them while reading up on the existing research on this subject. To get a perspective of what hearing loss feels like, here are some examples.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven.
Aha! You're on my apartment building on Granite Avenue. You owe me $300. Get it up?
Fred, take it easy. It's only a game.
Wilma, I'm just like them big tycoons. I play to win. Now, Barney, pay up or get out of the game.
Put busted.
That's one down and two to go. Ready? It's your turn.
I don't have any more money either. You got it all.
Then I'll take a mortgage on your open home. Well, come on, take the dice. Well, you don't just sit there like a dummy.
I will not have you talking that way to our guests. Come on, Barney. I think we'd better go.
The most commonly used hearing protection by the firefighters are the passive types of hearing protections, meaning the sound is attenuated by the means of physical design only. Examples of these are the classic foam earplugs, the rubber earplugs with the neck loop, and over-the-ear headphones.
We decided to find out the insertion loss for the present HPs used by firefighters. We had some passive HPs and one active noise cancelling HPE. The frequency content of siren is universal all over the United States. So we decided to find out the insertion loss with siren as a source. We found out that the passive HPs has very much high insertion loss compared to the active noise cancelling HPs in the frequency range of 500 to 2000. This makes firefighters very difficult to listen to other personals in the operation. But this insertion loss won't be applicable to all the sources, as the sources like chainsaw or air horn has a different frequency content according to the operation. So we decided to acquire a frequency response function for all the HPs. We used pink noise as an excitation source. We use the NI Signal Express software to acquire all the data and process it. We used 9235 module to acquire all acoustic data and 9260 module to output a noise.
To get a perspective of what noise sources the firefighters are exposed to, their opinion on hearing protection, and their experience with hearing loss, we conducted a jury study. The jury consisted of 66 members of the firefighting community of social media and news aggregation website Reddit. The study asked the jury members a total of 14 questions, ranging from the role they played, the duration they worked as firefighters for, the hearing protection that they used, if they've had hearing loss, and their impression of an idea of hearing protection.
The jury consisted of people that played a variety of roles, like wildland firefighter, water squirter, ladderman, and from a variety of roles, like apprentice, captain, fire chief, and volunteer firefighter. Majority of the jury members are people who have worked for less than 5 years as firefighters, with the people having worked less than 10 years coming second. Although 28% mentioned that they felt they've had hearing loss over the years, only 6% have actually been diagnosed. The reason for the other 94% not being diagnosed could be that they've indeed not had any hearing loss, or it could be simply that they never got it checked. Shockingly, only 40% reported that they regularly wore hearing protection, and later 79% said that they wore hearing protection for less than 25% of the duration of a run. This is alarming because the noise level on a fire run can go as high as 110 dB, and long-term exposure to such noise levels can cause permanent hearing damage. When asked that when they used hearing protection, what kind they used, 42 out of 57 mentioned that they used foam and rubber earplugs, although one even mentioned that the department issues none. Although using some hearing protection is better than none, foam and rubber earplugs are not ideal for firefighters. These must be formed by hand before inserting them in the ear so that little to no acoustic leakages are present. And since these provide passive tongue noise cancellation, these have to be removed between conversations. Reinserting them requires clean and free hands, which the firefighters on scene might not always have. 58% mention that the highest noise levels are experienced at scene using power tools. Next, we asked the jury members to identify the sources that they don't want to hear. The top 3 answers to these questions were saws, fire alarms, sirens, and air horns coming close fourth. After this, we asked them to identify the sources that they did want to hear. The top 3 answers to this question were human voice, PAS systems, and the tie between air horn and animal voices. A PAS system is an NFPA mandated personal alert safety system that is part of a firefighting gear. The PAS system lets out a distress signal for the other firefighters to hear. This distress signal is let out if the firefighter wearing it hasn't moved for a while. It could mean that they are hurt or unconscious. Here is a little video of a PAS system.
So it starts as that.
It gets louder.
Yeah.
Interestingly, air horn appears in both sources that the firefighters want to hear as well as the sources that they don't want to hear. This is so because although the air horn is alarming and discomforting, the air horn is also used as a signal for the firefighters to get out of the structure if the situation has become too dangerous or uncontrollable. Thus, air horn doesn't have to be entirely blocked, only attenuated sufficiently. Next, the firefighters were asked about what characteristics they expect in an ideal hearing protection, to which the majority replied that they have to be comfortable, easy to wear and remove, and should have integrated radio communication and PAS systems. From a design standpoint, the in-ear type design is preferred by majority, with the in-ear with ear hook type design coming in a close second. Lastly, the jury members are asked if the hearing protection did everything they suggested in the questionnaire, would they be comfortable wearing it for extended duration. To this, 72% replied that they would. This is really promising, since earlier in the study, only 3% had said that they wear hearing protection for more than 75% of the duration of a run.
Even though the 3MTEP200 provides less insertion loss than few other hearing protections, it is the closest to an ideal hearing protection, except for active noise control and radio integration features. It is capable of ANC and provides decent speech intelligibility in high background noise. Modifying the earphone's ANC feature to include or exclude corresponding sources and integrating radio communication or PAS systems can bring this hearing protection device very close to being the ideal choice.
The road to eliminating noise-induced hearing loss in firefighters is long and full of terrors. However, our study gives a brief idea of what the firefighters need from their ideal hearing protection. Actively controlling the noise sources is the key to developing an effective hearing protection, while catering to the needs of firemen, especially in terms of ergonomics, is what is needed in implementing it nationwide.